Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is Ron's Amazing Stories. We have stories that should thrill you a little and chill you a little.
It's amazing.
What you'll hear are adventures sent in by you guys, classic stories from the pulp mags, and episodes from the golden age of radio. We have special segments like Ghost Stories with Sylvia.
That's amazing.
And These Are Your Stories. So settle in for the next hour and enjoy the show. One more thing. You just might want to prepare yourself to be taken away from today.
That you say?
Hello and welcome to the podcast. Today we're featuring one of my all-time favorites. We're going to share two stories from the iconic OTR series, Gunsmoke. This legendary radio show first graced the airwaves in 1952 and concluded its television run in 1975. For over 2 decades, it stood as the go-to source for Western tales in America. But did you know that the idea behind Gunsmoke challenged the notion that Westerns were solely for young audiences? Stay tuned for more fascinating insights later. Our first story is called Doc Holliday. One of the things that Gunsmoke strove for was to be as historically accurate as possible. They would take real people, real events, and tie them to the characters of the show. In this one, it's suggested that Matt may have had a bit of history with the famous gunfighter that led to a lot of respect between the two of them. This one first aired during the first season on July 7th, 1952.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with the U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
You gotta get welcome to Dodge City proper like. Hey, you there, mister. I said you.
Are you addressing me, sir?
I reckon I am. You a preacher?
Not exactly.
You dress like a preacher.
If you'll excuse me.
Back up, fancy pants. You ain't no preacher. I figure on making you dance some for the folks.
You think you can hoorah me?
Dude, I said dance. Dance or the next shot will take off one of your toes.
I don't think I'd like that.
Doc, no. All right, Thorne, put up the gun.
Marshal, you got a wild and woolly town here.
Marshal, you move aside. I'm going to make this grinning dude kick up his heels for us.
I'd say that might be quite a trick, Thorne. Unless he's changed a lot since I last met him. Have you, Doc?
Not for the good, Matt.
I was afraid.
You pasty-faced tenderfoot. I said for you...
Shut up, Thorne. He's drunk, Doc.
He's dead. You just don't know it yet.
I'll take it good if you'd meet me later at my office.
All right, Matt. To you.
Well, that's sure a lot of talk. Now I'm going to shoot that dude's boot heels.
Fire one shot and I'll pistol whip you, Thorne.
What's that? You're kind of forgetting who's holding a gun, ain't you?
I wasn't forgetting.
Oh, my wrist. You broke my wrist.
I doubt it. Now let's go to jail.
Oh, you can't put me in jail. I'm Thorne Finley.
Move.
Oh, you wait till I tell Big Jack about this, and I will, too.
Do that. He might be grateful to me for saving your neck. You pulled some fool stunts, Thorne, but you've never been closer to dying than just a minute ago.
You mean from that fancy pants? Oh, I could handle 6 like him.
That makes you a lot of man. I can name a dozen pretty good gun hands who can't handle one of it.
What?
That's Doc Holliday.
There you are. Salute, Matt.
Salute, Doc. That sounds worse, Doc.
Yeah, I got orders to go to Arizona. Air's dry there, better for my lungs.
Going?
Thought I might. Wyatt invited me to visit him. He and Virgil and Morgan are the law down there. Some little mining town called Tombstone.
Well, it sounds peaceful anyway.
If it isn't, it will be by the time Wyatt Earp gets through. He is the peacemakingest man I ever met outside of you. Matt, who was the tellerhead down at the depot anyway?
Oh, Thorne? He's just a spoiled kid.
Kid? Couldn't be much younger than you.
Sure, but Thorne never grew up. His father has coddled him and protected him and gotten him out of scrapes ever since he was a pup. He's never had to be a man. Not with Big Jack wet nursing him.
Big Jack. Big Jack Finley.
Oh, you know him?
I've heard of him.
Well, that figures. He owns about half of Kansas. Star in a box runs more cows than he can count.
Swings a lot of weight in Dodge.
Too much.
Mr. Dillon? Mr. Dillon, somebody said that Doc Holliday had come into town today and he... Oh, excuse me.
It's all right, Chester. Why don't you shake hands with him?
Don't mind if I shake with my left hand. It's a kind of habit.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Dillon has the same habit.
He would. How about dinner tonight, Matt?
Sure. How long will you be in Dodge?
Not long. Just till I finish a chore.
Oh? That chore have anything to do with Big Jack Finley?
Might say so. Gonna kill him.
All right, Dillon. Turn him loose.
You forgot to close the door, Mr. Finley.
You're going to turn my boy loose? Well, I'm going to have to do it for you.
You got a writ of habeas corpus?
Writ? Thorne didn't commit no crime.
The charges are drunken, disorderly, disturbing the peace, and attempted assault with a deadly weapon.
I was.
You still need a writ.
But, man, Judd and Nathan does what I say, and you know it. Don't you think I can get a writ?
I'm sure you can and will. You always do.
Then what's the point, Dillon? It's just a lot of useless red tape.
It's the law. And close the door on the way out. All right, Thorne.
Didn't I tell you Big Jack would get me out? When are you going to learn you can't play?
Save the speech.
The law can't touch a Finley. You ought to get smart, Marshal.
Like you?
Sure, like me. Hi, Big Jack. You okay, son? Fine.
Anything else, Mr. Finley?
Why, yes. My boy here is a little boisterous sometimes, I know. High-spirited, you understand?
Uh-huh. So?
So, I want to put a stop to all this nonsense of yours arresting him every time he kicks up his heels a bit.
Now, go on.
Well, I'm offering you a job. Let's say, protecting my interests. $200 a month.
And no work, naturally.
I see we understand each other perfectly. No work, of course.
All I have to do is just shut my eyes whenever Junior here breaks the law, huh?
I said we understand each other. There's no need to elaborate on it, Dillon.
There's a big need. Only how do I explain to a person like you that some men don't wear a price tag?
Huh?
How do I explain how I feel about a so-called respectable citizen making the law his private doormat?
Hey, you're nothing but the stupid gunman I've always thought you were. I understand you took the part of Doc Holliday against my son.
I kept Thorne from committing suicide, yeah.
You sided with a notorious killer against an important citizen of this community. Now I'm telling you, Dillon, Holliday, I don't want him in Dodge tomorrow.
Doc may be a gunfighter, but he's clear with the law, Finley, and a better man than your son will ever be.
What? Why,
That hurts, doesn't it?
I'm serving notice, Marshal. You run that killer out of Dodge City, or I'll do it myself.
Big Jack Finley, cattleman and self-made king of southern Kansas. No better or worse than most of the men carving empires out of the West. Until love for his son blinded him to the fact that Thorne Finley had gone bad. And from here on, I knew the war was on between Big Jack and me.
So Big Jack Finley's going to run me out of town, huh?
No, unless I do it first.
Oh? I do something naughty, Matt?
Well, you threatened a man's life.
That... And just between friends, Matt.
Anything else, Doc? Not murder.
Murder? I give him an even break.
With you, that's still murder. Don't you think you better tell me about it?
Mm-hmm. What if I don't tell you?
Now, then my job's to warn Finley and try to protect him.
You're a tough man to be friends with, Matt.
It applies to you, too, doesn't it?
Guess maybe it does at that. Didn't realize how I put you on the spot by spouting off my good intentions. Sorry.
Forget it. You want to talk to me?
All right. Remember a girl named Ruth Davis?
Mm-hmm. Died in a riding accident a few months ago. Always wondered if it wasn't suicide. She lost her brother 2 weeks before that.
No accident. No suicide.
You sure?
Sure. You know, Ruth and her brother ran their ranch alone.
Mm-hmm.
A man started pestering Ruth, and she hated him. Her brother kicked the man off the ranch. This fella dry-gulched Ruth's brother, made it look like a robbery.
You have any proof of this?
Yeah. Ruth was afraid to go to the law, so she sent a letter to me. Here, read it yourself. She says the man was Finley and says she expects him to try and shut her up for good.
Well, that doesn't mean it's Big Jack.
I went to see Ruth's folks. They had her belongings. Among them, I found this.
Watch chain.
Engraved JF on the clasp. Jack Finley. You see why I've got to kill him, Matt? He forced Ruth's horse over that cliff, sure. But do you still think she died accidental?
No. But who's responsible is something for a court to decide.
Court? With Finley's money and influence, he wouldn't spend 5 days in jail even if he was convicted, which he wouldn't be.
He doesn't own the court.
Maybe not, but it's still the most powerful man in the state against a dead girl whose only friend is Doc Holliday. How do you think a judge will decide?
Doc, I'm going to ask you a favor.
Make it one I can give.
I got an idea, but you must let me handle it my way. Give the law a chance.
All right, Matt, I can wait.
Thank you. I'll keep this letter and chain for a while.
All right, but if the law fails, I'll brace Big Jack Finley when he walks out of the courthouse.
And you'll be bracing 2 men, Doc. Finley and me. Come in.
Morning, Marshal. Looks like it'll be a fine day.
Well, you're up kind of early just to bring me a weather report, aren't you, Judge Nathan?
Huh? Oh, well, I want to see you.
Now, go right ahead. You mind if I finish shaving?
No, please do. Just thought I'd chat with you about the...
About the Finleys?
Yes.
It seems that Big Jack's very upset by your attitude.
I'm not surprised.
Feels you're a little rough on his boy.
I am. But then his boy's a little rough.
Yeah. Well, perhaps Thorny is high-spirited, like yesterday.
Yesterday he was just plain high. Tell me, Judge Nathan, how do you like being on Fenley's payroll?
What?
You know, you used to be a pretty decent person.
Oh, you can't talk to me like...
Yes, I can. I'm sending a copy of Thorne's record to the governor.
Governor?
And with it, I'm sending a list of the writs you've issued to get him out of jail and a copy of the court records.
I've only tempered my justice with mercy, that's all.
Thorne's been arrested for 18 offenses, convicted of 10, spent no time in jail, and paid a total of $15 in fines. I'd say you've been very merciful.
You said you were sending this to the governor. You haven't actually mailed it yet?
No. You got an out.
Not that I don't feel justified in any decisions I've made, but such a report might cause undue talk at the Capitol.
And ruin your political hopes. Well, my conditions are simple. Get off Finley's payroll now.
Very well.
And give me cooperation from here on, no matter who's involved. Do that and I shelve the report.
I'll do it.
Mr. Dillon, trouble's a-making.
What kind of trouble, Chester?
It's Big Jack Finley, Mr. Dillon. He's rounding up his crew at the Alfraganza. They're going to ride Doc Holliday out of town on a rail. Did you cut yourself shaving?
Now, the second act of Gunsmoke.
Doc. Doc.
What?
Wake up, Doc. It's Matt.
Oh.
What's up? Trouble. Lots of trouble. Big Jack Finley's organizing a little citizens committee of his own hand-picked men coming to escort you out of town.
On a rail?
Yeah, that's the general idea. Here, take a shotgun.
Yeah, I'll hide it under the covers, modest-like.
Here. I'll wait against the wall here.
Good. That'll put 'em in a crossfire.
If it comes to that.
There's enough of 'em, we're in a spot.
Yeah, likely we are.
You're risking your neck to save me some bruises. One I owe you, friend Matt.
It's my job.
Still one I owe you.
There he is. Wrap him up. All right, stop right there. I'll shoot the man who takes another step.
You think you're going to stop us, Dillon?
I think so. Me and Doc.
Doc.
Show him, Doc.
Sure thing, Marshal. Look, boys, surprise.
Shotgun.
I sure do love surprises.
Dillon, I've got a dozen men with me.
Well, sure, about 6 of them will die, Finley, if you don't crawl out of here fast.
And guess who'll die first, Big Jack?
You there, Moncrief. I always figured you for some brains. Get your boss out of here, quick.
Sure talking sense, Big Jack. Shut up, Moncrief. You showing yellow.
Oh, but, man, there's nothing here for us to die over.
Listen to him, Finley. That greener Doc is holding has 18 buckshot in each barrel.
He'll get slaughtered if he triggers that thing.
And I'm getting edgy, Finley.
And me, if I get a coughing spell, I'm liable to shoot without meaning to.
All right. This is twice you have made a Finley back down. You'll never get a third chance. Let's get out of here.
Matt, when you going to arrest him?
When I'm ready. Not long.
I hope not. Getting impatient to see that man dead.
I got your message, Marshal. I hope it's important.
It is, Moncrief. How long you been foreman for Big Jack?
15, 16 years.
You know him pretty well. Would he be the kind to kill a girl?
No, of course not. Guess he'd kill a man if he got mad enough, but he wouldn't kill no girl, Marshal.
Well, I have proof that he did. A girl and her brother, but it doesn't set right. I'm hoping you can help.
What's your proof, Marshal?
The letter that names Finley as the man. Ruth Davis wrote it before she died.
Ruth Davis.
And this watch chain was found with her belongings. It's engraved on the back.
I know. I was with Big Jack when he bought this chain in Chicago. It was right after his wife died.
Big Jack wear it all the time?
You rode the right hunch, Marshal.
What?
Thorne is your man, just like you figured. He had a yen for the Davis girl, but he kept it quiet. Guess he didn't want it known she throwed him over.
But the watch chain...
Big Jack gave that to Thorne on his 25th birthday. Whole ranch can testify to that.
Good. All right, thank you, Moncrief.
You, gonna try and arrest Thorne?
Why?
If Big Jack believes Thorne killed that girl, it'll break his heart.
Broke her neck.
If he don't believe it,
then
he'll protect Thorne. And, Marshal, there's not enough lawmen in the state of Kansas to make Big Jack give up his son.
Yeah, what it... Oh, it's you, Marshal. And,
John Holliday. Doc, this is Judge Nathan.
Holiday? Oh, yes, I've heard of you.
I've heard of you, too, Judge. Wonder which has heard the worst.
What's that? Why,
Judge, I'm here on business.
Oh, of course. Come in, won't you? In my study here, so we won't be disturbed. Now, what is it, Marshal?
I want you to swear out a warrant for Thorne Finley's arrest. Charge, murder. You sure you want to go with me, Doc?
I'm sure.
All right, hold up your right hand.
Oh, no, Matt, you wouldn't make me a lawman.
If you go as my deputy. I'm not letting you make this a private fight.
Yeah, but my friends, if they hear I wore a star... All right, Matt, it's your show.
You swear to uphold and enforce the laws of this community, the state of Kansas, and the United States to the best of your ability as deputy marshal, so help you God?
All of that?
All of that.
I swear.
Here, pin on this badge.
All right, man. You know, I'm feeling this badge is going to cramp my style something terrible.
Better breathe our horses going up through this pass. We still got a good ride ahead.
How far?
Oh, about 10 miles.
What do you think, Matt? Will they fight?
Well...
Queen's on the other side of the pass behind you. That's being smart, Dillon. Queen will drop you if you touch her gun butt.
You're handy at this bushwhacking, aren't you, Thorne? If Doc...
He's all right. My slug seems to have bounced off his thick skull.
Good.
Yeah, let's pull your teeth. Better you do it. With your left hand, reach down and across slow. Pull your gun out with your fingertips and toss it away.
Nervous?
Just cautious.
Or maybe this queen doesn't exist, huh, Thorne?
Queen! Queen's one of Dad's men, but I pay him extra to work for me. Any more questions?
I guess not. There's my gun.
The rifle next.
I got a penknife in my pants pocket.
You know why Holiday came to Dodge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you do. You wouldn't be riding with him. Well, he's not going to tell any stories to my dad or anyone else.
You can't kill us, you stupid.
Not planning on killing you.
And what have you got planned?
Queen's kind of a magician. He's going to make Holiday just disappear. Folks won't care much about one of his kind.
I would. I'd care so much I'd hang you for it.
No, with Holiday gone, it's your word against mine. And you won't be able to approve a thing, Dillon.
You sure of that?
I'm sure. Otherwise, I'd take care of you along with Holiday. Now get on and start walking back to town. It's like I told you. Law can't touch a Finley.
It was no time for heroics, so I walked. When I reached a turn, I cut back through the rocks, but it was too late. They were gone. And with them, the horses, guns, and Doc Holliday. 2 miles up the road, I found my horse turned loose. And with a mind full of cold hate, I raced on to the Star in a box. On the front porch of the ranch house was one of Big Jack's men.
Hold it right there.
Out of my way, mister. I'm in no mood to shake hands.
Where you heading, lawman?
You don't hear well.
Dillon.
Where's Holiday?
How should I know? Get off my ranch.
And where's that prize son of yours?
What?
Trot him out. I want him.
Do you now? What on earth for?
Thorne, put that gun away.
Oh, no. This is just in case the marshal loses his temper.
I've lost it, Junior.
Sure.
Dillon, I've had all I'm going to stand from you.
You just think you have. Where's Holiday, Thorne? Where'd Queen take him?
Holiday? Why, I haven't the faintest idea. Where is Queen, Dad?
Riding fence line, but...
See, Marshal, we don't know where your friend is.
You're under arrest, Thorne.
What's that?
Ask him to show the warrant.
Here. Read it, Finley.
What? Oh, no. No, that's not possible. The judge wouldn't issue a warrant without proof.
He has proof, Thorne.
This is a lie. Thorne couldn't be guilty of murder.
No. Take a look at his face.
Son.
Daddy's trying to frame me. Don't let him get away with this.
No, I won't. I won't. Get out, Dillon.
Man, open your eyes. This is not going to help
You heard me. I don't believe you, your warrant, or your proof. I believe my son. So get off this ranch. Get out of the state. You let me see you again, so help me, I'll kill you myself.
Forget me. You're bucking the law. You
I
can't
make my own law.
So do I.
Doc Holliday.
But you're supposed to be dead. Queen was supposed to...
He's the one who's dead. I carry a knife in my boot just for men like him.
Thorne, God help me. You are guilty.
He sure is. And if he knows any prayers, he'd better get them over with.
No, Doc. He goes back with us as our prisoner.
You're wrong, Marshal. I'll take care of my son.
Dad, no.
You rotten, lying murderer.
Please don't,
I
Dad.
should have strangled you in the cradle when you were...
Finley, look out! I threw myself at Finley and both of us hit the floor, rolling away from Thorne as he raised his gun to fire. Then in the doorway, the blood-stained, terrible figure of Doc Holliday went into action. His pale hands blurred over his holster.
Ruth Thorne! Ruth?
Ready to leave him, Mr. Holliday. Thanks, Chester.
You sure you won't stay around a while, Doc?
Yeah, we're good friends, Matt, but you're a peace officer. I guess I'm not a very peaceful man.
You could be, Doc.
No, I'm not going to change, and you shouldn't. Law needs men like you. No, if I stayed, there's too good a chance I might cross you.
Yeah?
Then I'd have to meet you over gun barrels, and it's one thing I'm afraid of. So long, Matt.
Good luck, Doc.
My. I never would have thought Doc Holliday was scared of meeting anyone in a gunfight.
You don't understand, Chester. Doc's afraid because he might beat me.
A lot of people ask me if Matt Dillon was a real person. The short answer is no, but he was based on stories that writer John Meston heard from the folklorists of Dodge City, Kansas. In fact, some of the places like the Long Branch Saloon were real. In the late 1940s, CBS chairman William S. Paley, a fan of the Philip Marlowe series, asked his programming chief to develop a hardcore Western series about a Philip Marlowe of the Old West. Robinson delegated this to Harry Ackerman, who had actually developed the Philip Marlowe series. He created an audition script based on one of their Michael Shayne radio scripts, The Case of the Crooked Wheel. 2 versions were recorded, a hardcore detective story and a more Western, lighter version of the same script. CBS liked the lighter version better, and Ackerman was told to proceed. But a complication arose when one of the actors' contract would not allow him to do another radio series. The project was suspended for 3 years. That's when Norman MacDonald and writer John Meston discovered it while looking for a Western series of their own. They wanted to create a Western for adults, in contrast to the prevailing juvenile fare, such as The Lone Ranger or The Cisco Kid. The rest is history. The show went into production, and for the next 20-plus years, it thrived. Our next story is one of my go-to episodes. It tells the story of 2 brothers come to Dodge City to sell a herd of cattle. The identity of these guys are gonna shock you just a bit. I don't want to say any more other than this is one of the best written episodes of the whole first season. It is titled The Brothers, and it first aired on September 6th, 1952.
There it is. Yeah. Wonder if he's in. We'll soon find out. Look him over close. You've got to know how he stacks up. Yeah, I know. Hope he doesn't recognize us. He won't. Come on.
Morning, boys.
Morning, sir. Are you the marshal here in Dodge?
Yeah, that's right. My name is Dillon. Matt Dillon.
Thompson's our name. I'm Jim. This is my brother, Will.
I'm glad to know you. This is my sidekick, Chester Proudfoot.
Pleased to meet you.
Howdy. Howdy. Mr. Dillon, we're after some information.
Huh? What kind of information?
Well, you see, Will and I just brought a trail herd up from the Pecos country, around 2,000 head. We're holding them downriver a few miles.
Oh, toward Walnut Creek?
Yeah, I guess that's what they call it. You see, we plan to drive them on up toward Wyoming and put them on grass for a couple of months. We got thinking we might sell them here if we could get a fair price.
Well, you shouldn't have any trouble. The market's good right now.
So we've heard. And the only thing is, we don't know any buyers here. We were wondering if you might have an idea or two.
I see. Well, let me see. I suggest you go talk to Clem Bates. He runs the bank down the west end of Front Street.
Clem Bates, huh?
Yeah, he'll know of any buyers that happen to be in town. Might even buy the herd himself if it's in good condition.
Well, we'll go right down and see him now, Mr. Dillon. And much obliged to you, sir.
Forget it.
Coming, Will?
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Marshal.
Thank you. Same to you. Goodbye.
Well, they seem like a couple of nice men, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. Couple of strange ones, Chester. Wonder what they're here for.
Why, to sell a herd of cattle. You heard what they said.
Chester, when's the last time a trail driver came in here and asked me where to sell his cattle?
Well, I don't recollect that one ever did before, but all the same...
Of course not. They go to the bank or one of the saloons. They don't come to the jail.
Then why do you figure the Thompsons did?
Well, I got an idea they might be sizing me up. I think that's the kind of information they wanted.
But why?
I don't know. Maybe they're planning something they think I might interfere with. What do you say we ride out to Walnut Creek and find out if they really got a herd, huh?
All right, Mr. Dillon, whatever you say.
That older one, Jim. You know, there's something familiar. I can't quite place it. Thompson brothers, huh? Well, come on, Chester, let's ride. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Ella.
Oh. Well, they got a herd, all right, Mr. Dillon.
Yes, so they have, Chester. Well, let's drop in on them, huh? Ella.
Smoke's coming up behind those willows. Must be their camp.
Yeah, I guess so.
These cattle are carrying a Circle Bar T brand. I never heard of it.
It's like the Thompson brothers, Chester. I never heard of them either. At least not by that name.
Camp looks deserted, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah,
Right way out!
Somebody coming out of the wagon there.
Yeah, he must have been asleep or... Well.
You fellas better turn them horses around.
Hello, Houston.
Dillon, I didn't recognize you.
Well, now that you have, why don't you put the rifle down?
Well, sure, Marshal. I got no quarrel with you.
You used to figure you did.
Well,
How long you been working for the Thompsons, Houston?
Just a couple of months. I ran into them down on the Pecos and hired out for the drive.
Did you know them before that?
No, I just happened to run into them, and I heard they was looking for riders.
Riders? I never knew you to hire out for anything but gunslinging.
Why don't you let bygones be bygones, Marshal? A man can change.
Maybe.
Now, you take me. I don't hold no grudges. You run me out of town last year, and I was pretty sore about it, but not anymore. I'm willing to forget it.
If you do, you'll be making a mistake, Houston.
Now, look,
I told you to get out of Dodge City and stay out. That still goes. You understand me?
All right, Marshal. That's the way you want it. I'm not in Dodge City. Not yet.
They don't seem to be in here, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, we'll wait, Chester. They will be sooner or later.
Well, it was a real dull day up until now.
Hiya, Kitty.
Good to see you, Matt.
Chester. You're on your own.
What?
Stick around, though, huh?
All right, Mr. Dillon. See you later, Miss Kitty.
All right, Chester. You like a drink?
Not now, thanks, Kitty. I was looking for a couple of strangers in town, the Thompson brothers.
Oh, yeah. They were in earlier. Seemed very pleasant, quiet, real polite.
Mm-hmm. People aren't always what they seem to be, Kitty.
Well, are they mixed up in something, Matt?
I don't know.
Well, then what do you mean?
I don't think their name is Thompson. And I don't think they came here to sell cattle.
But they brought a herd in,
Yeah,
Matt.
I know that. I'm pretty sure I've seen that older brother somewhere before. Somewhere, sometime.
You're suspicious of everybody, aren't you, Matt?
Are you going to start that again?
All right. But you got the wrong attitude, you know. You miss a lot that way.
Yeah?
Yeah. Someday you're going to miss...
Over here at the
Oh,
bar,
there they
man.
are now. I came in with Clem Bates. Will you excuse me, Kitty?
Sure, Matt, sure. When you're through, come back. I'll be here.
All right, Kitty, I'll see you. Hiya, Clem.
I just bought myself 2,000 head of the finest cattle that's come north all summer.
Yeah, they are in good shape. I rode out that way this afternoon.
Marshal, we want to thank you again for putting us in touch with Mr. Bates. We're as satisfied with the deal as he is.
How about a drink, Matt?
Thanks, Clem. Later, maybe, huh? Mr. Thompson, do you know that you got one of the crookedest gunslingers in this part of the country working for you?
No, I didn't know it. What do you mean?
Man who calls himself Houston Jack.
Houston Jack. Is he back in town?
Well, not back in town, exactly. I ran into him out at the trail camp. I ordered him out of Dodge a year ago, Mr. Thompson. The order still stands.
That's funny. He didn't tell us he'd ever been in Dodge.
Well, I thought maybe he didn't. That's why I figured I'd better let you know about it.
I'm glad you did, Marshal. Of course, with the herd sold, we'll be paying the boys off tomorrow, and that'll be that.
Then back to Texas.
The sooner the better.
Well, meantime, there's nothing to prevent us from having a sociable drink or two. Holly, set 'em up over here.
Mr. Dillon? What? Oh. Will you boys excuse me a minute,
Sure,
please?
go right ahead. Sure, Marshal. What are you going to have, Will?
Yeah, what is it, Sammy?
Could you spare me $1, Mr. Dillon? I need a drink awful bad.
Oh, Sammy, you know what always happens? First it's one drink, and then it's 10. And I always end up by having to run you in.
Oh, not this time, Mr. Dillon.
Well, what's the matter, Sammy?
Them fellas you're with, you know 'em, Mr. Dillon?
Well, their name's Thompson. They're brothers.
Oh. No, that's not their name.
Well, then what is it?
Gotta get out of here, Mr. Dillon.
Wait a minute, Sammy. What the devil are you talking about?
No, nothing, Mr. Dillon. Honest, just remembered something. I gotta go right now.
Well, how about that drink?
Some other time, Mr. Dillon. Thanks a lot. I'll remember it. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Dillon.
Here, what's wrong with Sammy, Matt? Did he smell a drink somewhere?
Yeah, he must have.
I don't know what you said to him, Marshal, but he sure went out of here looking like he'd seen a ghost.
Well, Sammy's seen a lot of different things at different times. Maybe he did see a ghost.
I can't figure where he got to, Mr. Dillon. I looked in all the places he usually hangs out, but there wasn't any sign of him.
Well, the ways of a drunkard and the ways of a woman, Chester, they're beyond all human knowledge.
Yes, sir, I guess they are, Mr. Dillon.
There's one thing certain, though. As blurry-eyed as he is, Sammy recognized those Thompson brothers. And that's more than I can do.
Oh, maybe there's nothing to recognize. Maybe you just think you've seen them before.
Yeah, maybe. Well, there's no use going back to Texas Trail. That's one saloon Sammy will stay clear of.
I just don't know where to look, Mr. Dillon. I'll swear...
Wait a minute, Chester.
Oh, Thompson's coming out of the saloon.
No, I mean across the street. There's somebody by the corner. By heaven, that's Sammy.
Yes, and he's got a rifle.
I got you, boys. Sammy, you fool! Over there for the corner.
Come on, Chester.
He must have been crazy, Mr. Dillon. He must have been out of his mind.
Yeah, I guess. One side. Let me through here, please. Let me through.
Will you let us through? Let.
Sammy.
Mr. Dillon, I could use that drink now. Thought I'd get the reward.
Sammy?
Is he dead?
Yeah.
Oh, my. We sure hated to do it, Marshal. We had nothing against this man, didn't even know him, in fact. But I guess you saw what happened.
Yeah, I saw it. He threw a rifle on you, tried to kill you. You couldn't do anything else.
I can't figure it, Marshal. My brother and me didn't have no quarrel with this fella.
Well, Sammy drank a lot. He wasn't always in his right mind. But you won't be held. It was out-and-out self-defense.
Thanks, Marshal. Thanks a lot. Come on, Will, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, it's too bad, Mr. Dillon. Sammy never meant no harm to anybody.
He did to the Thompsons, Chester.
I can't figure it. Why did he do it?
Because he recognized them, I guess.
Say, did you see them draw after he fired?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him.
They're fast, Mr. Dillon.
Matt,
What? Oh, Kitty.
I heard him down the street calling for Doc. Who's hurt?
Sammy got himself killed.
Oh. Poor little guy.
Yeah.
Matt, you got trouble, too.
What do you mean?
Houston Jack's in town.
What?
He's over at the saloon now, looking for you. Matt, he says he's going to kill you.
Now, the second act of Gunsmoke.
I just can't figure it, Mr. Dillon. I never thought Houston'd have the nerve.
Well, it's like a lot of things tonight, Chester. None of it bigger.
Mr. Dillon, you don't suppose he's going to set you up for the Thompsons?
No, they got their horses and left. They're not in here. Well, we'll soon find out. Come on. Watch the boys at the tables, Chester, and keep them off my back, huh?
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon.
Maybe I wanted to leave town just at that time. I'll tell you one thing for sure. It wasn't that tin horn marshal that made me do it. You notice he's staying plenty clear of me.
Hello, Houston.
Dillon, you got nothing on me.
I told you to get out of town, didn't I?
I know, but you still got...
I told you to stay out, didn't I?
Yeah, but you had no right. What do you think you are?
Why'd you come back?
That's my business.
Mine too, maybe. You're under arrest.
Stay back, Dillon. I'm warning you.
You can't keep backing off forever, Houston. You'll have to stop sometime. I said you're under arrest.
I heard what you said. I got ears, Dillon, and I know how to...
He's bolted out the door, Mr. Dillon. He's getting away.
Be careful, Matt. He could be waiting outside.
You drew, Mr. Dillon. Why didn't you shoot?
Because you didn't draw. You can't...
There he goes.
Well, come on, Chester.
He can't be far ahead of us, Mr. Dillon.
He's heading for the range camp.
I still can't figure it, Mr. Dillon. It just don't add up.
Chester, so help me if you say that once more, I'm...
What's the matter, Mr. Dillon?
Pull up. Come on.
Oh.
Now.
What are we stopping for, Mr. Dillon? He's getting farther away every minute.
Chester, I owe you an apology. You're right. It don't add up.
Well, it's just a way of talking I have. I didn't intend...
No, I mean it, Chester. Everything Houston Jack did tonight, it doesn't add up at all. He knew I'd jump him if he came into town. He's tough, but he's not that tough. He's not the kind of a man to force a gunfight just for a chance to show off.
Yeah, but there wasn't any gunfight, Mr. Dillon.
No. He turned tail and ran. That's not like Houston either. He'll be a laughing stock from here to the Pecos.
Well, it's like I said, it just don't add. I forget what I was going to say.
Chester, suppose the Thompsons wanted to get us out of town for a while, huh?
You mean they put Houston up to that dido so's we'd chase off after him?
Well, there's only one way I know to find out. Come on.
Dodge is kind of spooky this time of night, Mr. Dillon. Pretty, though. All shadows and moonlight.
Yeah. Man could do a fair job of shooting tonight.
My. Sometimes I think Kitty is right about you, Mr. Dillon.
Meaning?
No heart.
Maybe not, Chester.
No offense, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, forget it. You know, Chester, there's something about moonlight connected with those Thompson brothers. I wish I could remember what... Chester, don't look. Just ride straight ahead. Keep riding. There are 4 horses tied over there by the bank.
Uh-huh. So that's it.
One of them's been run. He's wet. I can see it in the moonlight. Houston must have circled back.
Him and the Thompsons. Yes, but what about that 4th horse, Mr. Dillon?
It's probably Clem Bates. They'd have to have him. The vault's locked at night. All right, around the corner now. They may be watching from the front windows.
The Thompson brothers. I wouldn't never have figured them for a bank holdup.
Yeah, well. All right, we'll leave the horses here. Slip back to the side entrance.
Yeah. Ho, ho.
Well, what about that moonlight now, Chester?
Well, I guess it's bright enough a man could do a fair job of shooting tonight. No sign of life, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. They're in there, though. Side door's open.
Maybe one of us sort of kind of...
I came from the door. Come on, Chester. All right, get flat against the wall. They'll have to show themselves to fire at us.
Say, Mr. Dillon, I think they shut that door.
Yeah. All right, let's move in easy.
Yes, sir. It's shut all right.
I'm going to try the door. If it opens, flip a couple of shots in.
Yes, sir.
It's bolted. All right, cover me, Chester. Here goes.
I think I hear him running inside.
Yeah, one more.
They crashed out through the front window, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, come on. Oh, there's Clem on the floor. They must have laid him out. Easy, Chester. They may be waiting outside for us.
There they go. They're making a run for it.
Yeah, come on. Let's get out through this window.
Mr. Dillon? Mr. Dillon!
It's all right, Chester. Nicked a rib, I think. I'm all right, though.
I thought for a minute there that they'd...
Yeah, I know. Looks like one of them stayed behind. That shot came from the corner of the livery stable over there. Maybe I can...
What's the matter, Dillon? You're supposed to be good.
Houston, all right.
He's back at that old stone well.
Yeah. Stay here and keep him pinned down, Chester. I'm going up on the roof, through the trap door back here.
All right, Mr. Dillon. Watch yourself.
Yeah. Throw a shot or two at him. Keep him busy, huh?
Yes.
You gotta do better than that, Dillon.
I will, Houston. Don't worry about that. Now, if I can just get this open without... There. Now...
You're not getting Lily, are you, Dillon?
South corner there. Put me right over him. And then I... Wait a minute. Moonlight night and a bank. So that's who they are. Houston!
Dillon, where are you?
Up here. You're under arrest. Drop your gun.
I'll drop it.
Last chance, Houston.
Your last chance.
All right, then. So long, gunslinger.
I reckon that did it, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. Moonlight's real bright up here, Chester. All right, Chester, I'm coming down.
You fellas, don't.
Mr. Bates is coming too, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, he's not bad off. They must have slapped him with a gun barrel on the way out. Clem, can you hear me?
Matt? Oh, Matt, thank you.
Chester, get that chair over there.
Yes. Here you are.
All right, give me a hand with it.
Easy, fellas.
Come on, Mr. Bates. There you are. Now, what happened, Clem? Are they trying to make you open the vault?
That's right. It was those Thompson brothers, Matt.
Yeah, I know.
They fooled me plenty. Thought they were fine fellas. I've been drinking with them all evening.
Well, you never know, Clem. They get away with anything?
No. I was about to give in and open the vault when you rode by. That got him kind of upset.
Well, there's no harm done then. Houston Jack was long overdue for killing.
We gonna go after the Thompsons, Mr. Dillon?
Where, Chester? They could have gone in any one of a dozen directions. There'd be no chance of trying to track them till morning. Somehow, I don't think we'll get them even then.
I think I ought to get something done about this head of mine, Matt. It's giving me fits.
Yeah, I'll go with you, Clem. I gotta tell the doc about Houston. Chester, I guess you better go over to the depot and wake up Mr. Hightower. Have him put a wanted bulletin on the wire.
For the Thompson brothers, huh?
No, Chester. I've recognized them finally. Their name isn't Thompson.
Well, what name do I put in the bulletin, Mr. Dillon?
Just say, wanted for attempted bank robbery in Dodge City, Frank and Jesse James.
That was episode number 678, and I hope that you enjoyed our Gunsmoke special. Come back next week and find out what we'll have for you then. It's gonna be amazing. If you want to follow the podcast or the blog, head to ronsamazingstories.com. There you will find any of the links I mentioned and how to contact us. Do you want to help the show? The best thing you can do is to tell your friends all about it, and please leave reviews or feedback wherever you listen. Clicking that follow or like button helps us grow. Thank you for listening, and I hope you come again to find out what are Ron's Amazing Stories.